So today I want to walk you through my exact process of how I build a team of AI employees for a client or for myself. Also, if I build like a one-off project, like if I have little side hustle projects that I'm building for myself, I use this same process to sort of spin up different AI employees and agents to kind of complete the task, whether that is in the planning process, development, testing, deployment, And before I go into my process, I want you to know that this might sound a little bit technical, but I myself am a carpenter by trade. I've been in construction most of my life, and yes, I have dedicated the last 6+ months to learning these skills day and night, diligently. But even though it is a bit of a learning curve, you can do it. If I could do it as a carpenter, as a tradesman, living in Australia, you can do this too. And these skills that I've been able to develop over the past sort of 6 or so months have led to this becoming my full-time business. And I'm able to be based anywhere in the world. I'm in Chiang Mai, Thailand at the moment, and I'm running my business online. I'm still having client meetings. I'm still able to do all of the stuff that I'm about to show you, and I'm able to create value for people online and deliver it online. Everything's run online. There's a lot of freedom and flexibility, and I want to share these skills with you and teach you kind of my workflow and process so that you can start to understand it as well, because it is fucking mind-blowing what you can do with it. You'll understand more as I get into it. So let's start. So first off, what you can see here is this is Claude Desktop. So you're probably familiar with ChatGPT. Why don't I bring it up? You're probably familiar with ChatGPT. This is ChatGPT. How can I help you, bro? There is no different. Like, this is no different. So Claude is basically another version of ChatGPT. So if you know ChatGPT, you essentially know Claude. Like, quite similar, obviously. So the only difference here that I'm using is I'm using Claude just like you would ChatGPT, but I've downloaded the desktop version. Just a little bit easier, and there's a lot more capabilities when you have it as a desktop app, which I'll get into eventually. Excuse the airplane noises, they're a little bit noisy. Right near the airport in Chiang Mai. Alright, back to the story. Okay, so what you can see here is this is basically my control center for my business. I use Claude, and there's no reason, by the way, that you can't use ChatGPT. This is the model that I have chosen as kind of like the strategic partner, kind of research partner, and kind of brainstorming partner for my business. But you can use ChatGPT if you're used to that. I used ChatGPT for probably close to, I don't know, maybe a year. Not in the capacity that I use AI now, but it was really great. I find personally Claude is just better at what I do specifically, which is system architecture, coding, development, and design, all of those things, and kind of complex strategy, like complex understanding multi-system architecture. I won't go too far into this. Just like ChatGPT, Claude has different models. Each model is used for something different. It sort of specializes in something different. There's a research function that you can use. There's different tools. There's the native tools, and there's also these extensions which you can actually plug in. You can build these custom tools and plug them into your desktop app through what's called an MCP, Model Context Protocol, which is a little bit more advanced, but we'll get into that eventually. Bottom line for these tools is essentially there's a process running in the back end, everything from YouTube, so like content analysis, so I can go and analyze any video that I want. right here in Claude. I don't have to go to YouTube at all. I can find like trending content, I can analyze what's going on, I can extract those insights and create my own content based on those insights. Another plane, sorry. Okay, it's gone. So another tools like research, this is where I complete all my research. So there's a few different tools under this one kind of category of research, and it does a combination of different things. And then once I've developed the understanding of whatever I'm researching, I can then save that research. I can just type literally, hey, save this research, and it'll go and put it in the database for me. And that's all automatic. And then I can basically pull from that research whenever I want to. So I'll keep going, it'll make more sense. So project deployer tool, I'll get more into that. N8N, this is where I build all my custom workflows. Files, this is my local drive, so I can, from this Claude platform, I can actually read, write, delete, modify whatever files that I want that are on my local drive. So this is my Finder. Like if you click Finder, if you're on a Mac, that's the files I'm talking about. That's your local drive. So from here, like you don't even have to open Finder. You can just edit files from this platform, which is fucking insane. And then Dropbox, I think actually Claude and ChatGPT would as well have like a native, just like there's Gmail and all these things, they probably have Dropbox as well. So you can plug that in a little bit easier. My Dropbox tool is just a little bit more complex. It just handles a few extra things for me. So I just built a custom tool. Content, that's around content creation. So it just helps me to actually structure and design and write content. A few tools to help me do that. And then this tool is Client Insights. So I can basically, I have a database, just like I have this research database. I have a database of all my clients and all of their like project deliverables and the project requirements, their specific challenges, their vision for their business, all of the like opportunities and solutions that we've crafted for them, specifically to solve the problem or whatever the goal is that they have in their business. All of that is sitting in a database. And this tool allows me to run a semantic search, which just means it allows me to literally type just here, hey, what's the most common challenge my clients face? I can literally hit enter on that. I won't hit enter right now because it'll probably pull up some maybe confidential information. I can literally just hit enter and it will go and search the entire database, and it will literally give me, hey, across all your clients, this is the one thing that most of them mention the most. This is the most common pain point that they are facing. And you can imagine how powerful that is. So I can take that insight, very valuable insight, and I can then start to kind of layer these tools. This is something that I didn't actually intend on. It's not something that I was aware of, but I designed and built each of these custom tools to help me do specific things. But as I started to develop like a list of all these things, I started to realize how powerful it is when they start to layer on top of each other. So say if I've just extracted an insight across all of my clients, like everyone that exists in the database, and I have the one most common pain point that they all face, like that is gold. That is a golden insight. I can then go and research about this specific problem, like this specific pain point. I can research like available solutions on the market. I can see like how other people are solving this specific problem, and I can do research around maybe like I can do research around the potential solutions that I could craft for my own client base or for the prospects that I want to sell to. And so I can also go and extract like the most trending content around that pain point or around that solution. So I can, like, right here in this platform, right in this like terminal, I can actually like identify problem solution. I can research about the problem solution, the demographic, the target market, the audience that I'm speaking to. I can go and see what's trending, like what content is trending around that topic, around that problem solution, or what content is this demographic, are the people that I'm targeting, what content are they engaging with the most? And then I can with all of those insights, I can pull together right here in this platform, I can pull together basically like a comprehensive overview of an entirely new product or service that is researched, it is outlined in depth, and I know who I'm speaking to, I know what problem I'm solving, I know exactly how I'm going to solve the problem, I know what my competitors are doing, I know what's selling in the market, so that I can differentiate myself, I can craft my offer in a unique way. And once I have that outline, that's when this project deployer tool comes in. So the process that I've created for myself, this is my own workflow. This has just come out of trial and error and iteration. So essentially, like every time I build one of these tools, I'm like, oh, sick. Okay, what's next? What do I do with this now? And then I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I have to do this. So then I go and build the tool, and like that's just been my process. It hasn't really been that strategic. I have had a vision in mind about what I would like to eventually get to, and I am getting to that point. But all of this was just iterative. Like I just kind of went one step at a time, built all these things, and then when it came to this project deployer, I basically built a tool that will turn an idea into a full comprehensive document that outlines the entire project. It just captures all of the unique requirements and deliverables that project kind of requires. So that doesn't really make sense, actually. Let me break this down a little bit more. So this project deployer tool actually is kind of the bridge between idea and development. So it kind of, my workflow, my custom workflow that I've built, it starts with ideation, so coming up with an idea, researching it, and validating the idea, which you do through all of this research, researching trends, all of this stuff. Also extracting insights from my database. And then, so that is kind of the ideation phase. So I've got a solid idea to start from, researched idea, validated idea. The next phase is planning. So I start to plan out the project, how it looks. And because specifically what I'm doing is building AI employees, building AI teams for business owners to automate their entire business, and also just reach more people, offer more value, have some kind of system like this one that they can leverage to just fucking create way more value and just have more intelligence in their business. So more clarity, more insights, like more data-driven decisions. And then after the entire project is planned, so for my offering specifically, I'm building AI employees and building AI teams and solutions for business owners. Let me put this more simply. So if I'm building an AI employee, like if I'm building an AI employee or I'm building a team of AI employees, I have a system that I can use now that I've built, painstakingly built, that can take that idea and the planning and all the research and requirements for the project, and it can basically go and map out an entire hierarchy of like a team structure in order to achieve whatever the requirements are for either myself, like if it's a personal project or my own business, or for a client's business. So take an idea, do all the research, do all the planning, put it into the AI agent team mapping tool that I've built, and it will spit out like a hierarchy, like a team structure of all the different AI employees, all of their roles and responsibilities, the communication patterns between each, all the protocols that they have to use, all the standard operating procedures, all of these things. Like, it's all mapped out, it's all clear. So this project deployer tool, to try to round this thing back, is basically the bridge between those two things. So it takes the project overview and all of the research and all of the planning phase, and it kind of just restructures all of that in a way that the mapping tool that does all of the team structure can understand. It takes the data, it restructures it in a way it can understand, and then it gives it to the next part of the system so that I can start to map out the team structure. So that's what this tool does. I hope that wasn't too technical. And all this N8N tool does is, that's more technical requirements. It goes and looks at the company docs for the certain node configurations and stuff like this. Gets a little bit technical, but essentially it just adds to the information that's needed in order to deploy the project and start to map out the team structure. So you can see, as I was saying, like, all of these tools start to come together to build a very powerful workflow and system that I can use. So why don't I give you an example, actually. So I have this idea for an app, and maybe by the time you watch this video, the app might be live, hopefully. But something that I do every morning, like, I was just before I got to Chiang Mai and I was living on the Gold Coast, I every morning would wake up around sunrise, I'd walk on the beach, and before I looked at my phone or notifications or anything like that, before I let the outside world in, I would turn on my voice memo, like voice recorder on my phone, and I would just speak all of my thoughts, feelings, everything that was kind of on my mind, all of these like reflections from maybe like my dream that I had the night before, or like what was going on that week, or like maybe I would like start talking into my vision and what I'm doing with like my business or my life, like my personal goals, my relationships. And I would also talk about how I feel about those certain things, or where I feel like I'm at with those certain things. And I would talk about like how I feel in relation to those goals. So like, how do I feel? Does this feel positive? Do I feel capable? Do I feel like I'm holding myself back? Like, all of these things, like, just basically just journaling out loud, just a lot of self-reflection, self-awareness. And this habit in itself is crazy valuable. I highly recommend that you do this. I highly recommend that you journal every day in general. That's what's given me the clarity to be able to create something like this. And really, like, it's led to a lot of good things in my life. It's cleared a lot of anxiety, depression, fears, all of these things, insecurities. Journaling, highly recommend it. But the system that I started to do just kind of intuitively was, I started to voice record myself in the mornings and sometimes in the afternoons, and I would call it a brain dump. Like, you probably heard this expression before. You just dump, you just brain dump. So like, you dump all of your thoughts into like either pen on paper. For me, I use a voice memo recorder. So I just dumped like everything that was on my mind, in my body that I could feel, like all this tension, stress, or like maybe positive feelings, thoughts, beliefs, vision, whatever. I just dumped it all into this voice memo. And it was just like running the tap until the water was clean. Like, it was just so therapeutic. And so this is something I started to do a lot. And so much insight came from doing this every day. And so what I decided to do was I decided to build a database that automatically took these voice memos that I captured every day, and it would basically like extract insights, and like it would analyze the patterns in my speech, in the way that I thought, in my behaviors and the things that I said. And it would help me to just kind of like identify any ways that I might be holding myself back, or any ways that I might not be like maybe in integrity, like if my words don't line up with my actions. or yeah, just general things like that. Just self-awareness, really. It was just like a mirror reflecting back to me anything that I might have been missing. Yeah, and it was so insanely valuable, like insanely valuable. And a lot of people kind of freak out about AI and like sharing personal insights with AI. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it is a concern. I had the same concern until I kind of just got over that hump, and I just started to really use it to benefit my life and my business. And honestly, the value that it's given me is just like, I just wouldn't even think twice to do it. So I built this tool, and it's basically like an AI employee that I've built, and it goes and takes all of my voice memos that I record, it analyzes them, and it puts them in the database. And then I can actually come into here, into Claude or ChatGPT, whatever, and I can say like, hey, what's one thing you notice about my behaviors this week that may be affecting my long-term success? Do you know what I mean? Or like, what's the biggest limiting belief you think that I have based on all of the insights I've shared through my voice memos, kind of thing. Like, you can ask it anything, and it will just literally go, and within a few seconds, like, it'll just go and scan everything across the week or across the month or across 6 months. And you can imagine how valuable this database of insights starts to become. This is where I capture all of my ideas for products or like business ideas. This is where I capture, like, after I have a meeting with a client, I will capture on a voice memo just any like insights that I got or ideas for them, like solutions for things that I could implement into their business, things that might help, all of these kinds of things. And like, it's essentially like downloading your memory, your brain into, like, it's like having a second brain with no memory loss. So I can literally type in here anything that I want, and I can learn about myself very quickly. It's crazy. And from here, honestly, like, I haven't built this yet, but you could then build an AI employee that takes the top 5 insights about, like, from your week, like the top 5 things that maybe would be a valuable reflection for you to read and consider, maybe in your like thoughts or behaviors, or maybe like the top 3 ideas that you've had across the week. Or maybe it's like the based on the insights, maybe it's like, hey, these are the top 3 things these are the top 3 actions that you should do this week to that are gonna put you closer to your long-term goals. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it will send you an email. Like, it will automatically send you an email or a text message, and it will say, like, whatever you want it to say, like, hey, listen, these are the 3 things, these are the top 5 things you need to know, or these are the things that you might not be seeing. It could be like, hey, this was a really great idea for a solution for the X client. You should reach out and offer them this. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can be anything that you want, and all of this is in a database. Like, it's just mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing what you can do. And yes, like, this is kind of getting into the advanced stuff of what you can do, but once you learn once you have a basic understanding of how all this stuff works, and you can set up your own tools exactly how you need them for your business. Like, this is how my business runs. You're probably not going to build AI employees. Maybe you will. Maybe you'll learn these skills and build them for yourself, but you can build like a research engine, a content creation system, like an automatic system that researches your competitors' products and pricing, and gives you ideas based on your audience, based on your clients, like current existing clients. And it can give you ideas for like new products to offer, and give you like prices based on like what your competitors are offering. Do you know what I mean? Like, the like possibilities are endless. You can do whatever you want. It's just mind blowing. and you can see how excited I am about this, and how excited I am to just share this with people, because this will transform not only your business, this will transform your life. Like the amount of self-awareness that I've gained just from that app. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. I've gotten sidetracked. So this brain dump app, the amount of value that's given me, just having that mirror reflecting back to me all the ways that I'm holding myself back, I've been able to just fucking step through my limitations and just kind of rewire my mind and just kind of break through a couple of things that were holding me back and really start making some progress. It's just crazy how quickly you can move. And so this, for an example, like this is the app, the idea that I was telling you about. So essentially, look, I've said, hey Claude, bring up all the voice memos in my database that mention the idea called brain dump. And it's like, hey, yeah, sure, I'll search your database for all the voice memos mentioning brain dump. It searched my entire database. It pulled up a number of different like voice memos. I also had a couple that I had written down that I wanted to add to this. So I've just said, hey, ignore the first one because that's actually something else. That's a different tool for my business related to CRM. But I'm saying, hey, ignore the first one, keep the second one, also read these two. So like I'm just giving it more context. Now it has everything that I have mentioned and written over the course of like 3 months on this idea that started to develop for an app called Brain Dump. This is like 2 minutes. Within 2 minutes, I have every single thought that I've had about an idea all captured in one go. And now I can have the most powerful AI on the planet, the most powerful technology on the planet, analyze this entire idea all within a couple minutes. Like that just blows my mind. Like imagine what this would do for an idea that you have for your business or like a side hustle or a project. And saying, hey, like these are the key insights from, oh, I've lost connection. Sorry about that. Don't worry about these, that's my back end stuff. So look, as I was saying, it's saying, hey, look, these are the critical success factors, addressing some of the challenges, these are my recommendations, and then I'm saying, hey, please deploy this project. So this is the project deployer tool that I mentioned. So this is the bridge that takes an idea and turns it into an actual thing, like an actual project. It starts to plan and develop the project and develop the software and the coding and the back end and the interface for this to actually be something you can use. And so all I had to say was, hey, deploy this project for me. I want you to call it Brain Dump app. And it just goes, I'll deploy the Brain Dump app project for you. This will create a comprehensive AI-powered voice memo analysis platform based on the specification that you provided. And then it just goes and does it exactly how, obviously I've had to program it to do what I want it to do, but it did run into an issue here, but then it just goes, hey, let me try again for you. And then it did it. So little glitch there, but nothing to worry. And then look, it just goes, perfect, Brain Dump app project has been successfully deployed. Here's what was created. So it's just gone and built that entire project for me and set up like a new project folder with all of the relevant files. It set up a Git repository, which is basically like a database on the back end. It's just gone and prepared like all of the requirements, all the things that I need to start developing this project. It's taken a specification, it's gone and built the database, it's gone and built the like Git repository, and it's prepared. Another plane coming over. As I was saying, so it's just gone and done all of this stuff. It's gone and created an entirely new project that I can find. Look, I'll find it just here. Okay, it wasn't there. I deleted it. Cut that bit. So anyways, I deleted it because I made some changes in my folder and I wanted to redeploy it so that it had those changes made to it. So essentially, like, the way that it works is this project deployer stays the same, but as my business develops and as my system learns from itself, as it gets more intelligent, based on every time I finish a project, every time I finish working with a client, the amount that the system learns from that iterative process, it just gets so much better every time. Like, it understands what I need, what the business needs. It understands like how to do things, how to create solutions, all of these things. It just gets smarter. And so every time it comes to create a new project, all of those lessons and insights and learnings are integrated automatically into the next project. And so this project deployer tool that I built, it stays the same, but it goes and gets all of the new lessons and everything that it's learned, and it creates a new project folder with all of those things integrated. That's essentially how this works. And that's why I deleted this just for a second, so that I could redeploy it, because I made some really critical changes in my workflow that I wanted to be integrated into this next app that I'm going to develop. So essentially, to wrap this up, the project's been deployed, it's ready for development. Like, it's ready to start planning and developing inside of Cursor. And Cursor is, I won't open it because there's some confidential stuff. There's some confidential stuff on there at the moment. But Cursor is basically another platform, kind of the same as Claude, similar software, similar like AI technology. And that's when I start to develop the back end and the system itself, like all of that's where I build all of the AI employees. That's where I build all of the automated workflows. That's where I do all of the planning, and that is where I do all of the development, testing, deployment. It all happens in Cursor. That's basically the way you start to code and program all of the software. But hopefully this gives you a bit of an idea of what you can do with Claude Desktop or ChatGPT Desktop using custom tools. Insane. It's an end-to-end custom designed system that you can use for your business, for your own life, and you can have whatever tools you want customized to exactly the output that you're creating in your business. It can be tailored to exactly what you need. You can imagine how much time you can save. Like, if you're doing research and creating content and you're like reading through past clients and trying to understand like patterns, if you're like scribbling journal entries or notes, or if you're taking notes like in your notes app about like clients, or you're taking like you're manually writing notes from your client meetings, or maybe just general personal journaling. You're trying to watch like YouTube videos to extract like insights and do research on what's trending, or maybe you're looking at your own content on social media and trying to like analyze what's happening best, like what's getting the most engagement, what's getting traction. All of these things take a fuckload of time. Like, that all takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time, and within seconds, maybe minutes, you can do all of that, all here in one place. Like, mind-blowing shit, mind-blowing. I'm going to end this video there. Hopefully you got a lot of value out of this. I'm going to keep sharing more videos like this and sharing more value. Here's another plane just in time. I'll keep sharing more stuff like this, but I'm going to let you steer the ship. I'm going to let you give me some direction on what you would like to know how to do, or like what you would like to understand more. So I'm not just blabbering on about nothing. So like I said, guys, I am a tradesman from Australia. I grew up as a carpenter. I was on the tools most of my life. Yes, it's taken a few years of very hard work, very diligent work, to start to learn different skills and be in a different space and kind of create a different reality for myself. But like, this stuff you can learn. You can learn this. You can transform your business. You can transform your life, and you can get way ahead of most people if you just apply yourself. So I highly recommend you start to learn this. However I can help you to understand this a little bit better, let me know. Comment on this, send me a direct message, and let me know what you want to hear more about. Let me know what you want to learn more about or understand better. Reach out directly, comment on this video. Yeah, thank you. Keep in touch.